Okay, so it seems that we've got a pretty interesting situation going down in the VTuber community at the moment, and it's to do with this, agency called AKA Virtual. Now, AKA Virtual's been around for quite a while now. I'm pretty sure they've been around for about like 4 years, which is, quite a while, and especially in VTuber terms, right? And, mainly they have been based in Japan, but they've also been taking on a lot of Indonesian talent, and a lot of them are very Indonesian orientated, and can either speak Indonesian or whatever. And obviously, yeah, they've had a couple of adoptions. And one thing that's really caught the attention of a lot of the community was their new group, which was, an EN group. They actually started this last year, back in November, where they debuted 4 members that were all English VTubers. So again, obviously, they were trying to reach out to that kind of market, and it was very interesting. But it seems like 3 of the members of this group have already graduated after such a short amount of time. It hasn't even been a year yet. And well, it seems like, there is something pretty weird going on behind the scenes. I kind of want to explain what was going on, as things seem to be very disconjointed and stuff in terms of information, as yeah, it's just very weird. Now obviously this was one of the posts that was posted a couple of days ago saying the talents behind Piruella, Vieira Vanilla and Dolly Doppel will be graduating on September 10th 2025, and they will be recasted. Now obviously the virtual YouTubers post here, they put and they'll be recasted. There is nothing specifically saying that they will be recasted, but it is a topic which is, annoying a lot of people, right? Because obviously they say here, thank you for your continued support you've shown to AKA Virtual EN and our subunit Perfrua, I think that's how you say it. Since Perfrua's debut on November 16th, 2024, the characters Vieira Vanilla, Dolly Doppel, and Piruella have been brought to life with immense heart and creativity by the talented voice actresses. Now, you can note here that they say voice actresses. Usually whenever a kind of graduation message comes out, they usually just say talent, or they say something like that. They never really say voice actresses, which is why a lot of people obviously considering maybe they could be getting recasted or replaced. And obviously we'll keep going on to why a lot of people think this as well. They say, today we'd like to inform you that the voice actresses behind Vieira, Dolly, and Piruella have decided to step away from their roles. And they say to celebrate their contributions and the memories shared with fans, a special live stream will be held on each of their YouTube channels. And then they say, the date, September 10th, and obviously they've had those streams and things. And they said, while the current voice actresses will be stepping away from the roles, Vieira, Dolly, and Piruella will remain as an important part of AKA Virtual's EN's future. Now that's very interesting, because obviously what do they mean by that? Now obviously this could mean multiple things. Obviously they keep on referring to these people as voice actresses, which is interesting. I don't know why they've referred to them as voice actresses, but I think I know why. I think it is due to the fact that they could be replacing them with new voices and keeping the actual kind of personality going. Now, a lot of people are very against that in the comments. People saying recasting and VTubing is like squeezing a stone to get water. It's not going to work. Said, basically, just because it worked out for Kizna Ai doesn't mean it'll work out for you. So the biggest difference is that back then, Kizna Ai herself, the original voice actress, was still around. Increasing the number of voice actors under the pretext of reducing her workload is completely different from replacing her outright, and doing the latter would only spark even greater backlash. It said it also didn't work for her. So again, obviously, if you say recast, this won't end well. Now, obviously, they didn't specifically say recast here. There could be other reasons. For example, like they could just be around it like merch, or they could be referred to as just like a character, almost like in a story, right? But from what the kind of wording's like, I think it's pretty safe to say that we could be seeing a recast happening. But again, it could be literally anything. And obviously this is to give you a little bit more context behind why everybody's really mad and stuff, surrounding this. And it seems like, well, there is a little bit more news we have. For example, people have been posting the voice actresses behind the game and, where to support them and things. Obviously, as they will be continuing, I guess, on their own kind of places, whether that's as a VTuber or maybe as a voice actor themselves. But essentially, they also allowed them, or AKA Virtual, the company, the agency behind all of this, has actually allowed them to post their new accounts, which is like, I don't think I've ever seen this. Now, maybe there has been other things before, but recently I haven't seen any of this happen, where essentially a talent is allowed to post on their old account and they're allowed to kind of promote their new indie kind of profile, which I think is very interesting. Obviously, to be honest, I think that's great. I think it's great that they have allowed them to do that. Obviously, I know a lot of people are mad at the fact that, you know, maybe recasting wasn't the best kind of decisions here, and obviously recasting won't really work. But I do think it is pretty interesting how they have allowed them to actually post about their new indie accounts on all their corporate accounts. I think it's very interesting, and it's definitely something that, you know, maybe could be done more, I guess. But again, obviously, whenever it comes to Japanese companies, I doubt they'll let them do it. But maybe, you know, considering stuff for a lot of EN companies at the moment, maybe they could do it. And I think that is a very interesting thing that they've allowed them to do there. Maybe, you know, it could be that the company felt bad for them and kicking them out so early and things like that. So maybe they were like, okay, to kind of make it up and to kind of get this agreement through, let's let you promote your new accounts on the profiles. That could have been part of the agreement in the graduation. You never really know. But again, I do think it is a interesting move from them. And obviously, yeah, the main kind of thing that people are mad about is the recasting. People are saying this is probably a lie by the author. They interpreted the announcement this way. There's literally nothing ever stated about a recast anywhere. Please read stuff for yourself. I have half a mind to literally talk to anyone in this thread about it before it blows out of proportion. They said, so how else would you interpret it? I read it for myself and I interpreted it that way, lol. Let's just look at it again. While the current voice actresses will be stepping away from their roles, Vieira, Dolly, and Piruella will remain an important part of aka virtual EN's future. Keywords there could be current voice actresses and will remain an important part of aka virtual EN's future. Putting emphasis on the word current in current voice actresses leaves the impression that there will be a timeline, aka past, present, and future. The characters will remain as an important part of aka virtual EN's future. If the current voice actors for this are still important, are being let go, and they're still an integral part of the company in the future, unless they turn them into AI or something, or whatever the other option is, other than a recast. Also, bro, how do you think people are stupid? How stupid do you think people are? The majority of people are going to read this short blurb in the image to make their own impression. The only people sending deaf stuff over this are the minority who wouldn't have even changed their minds regardless of what they've read. You know, they're crazy enough to send stuff like that in the first place. I didn't even know people were sending stuff like that, but again, I don't know who that's aimed at, whether it was aka virtual or the kind of talent, but that is messed up. Obviously, they say, like, I see your point, but this is for sure might be bad wording. It could be bad wording, but I honestly can't see where else this could go, you know? And if it is bad wording, then it is totally aka Virtual's fault, because, again, any normal person would interpret this message as they are recasting, you know? I think that is a pretty normal response to this. You know, people saying, well, the current voice actresses will be stepping away from their roles, question marks. It still might be unfortunate word. It is literally just what is happening. But again, I still think, even if it is unfortunate wording, they've chosen to word it that way, you know? And even if they've, you know, messed up with that, then they need to kind of clarify that, else people are going to start to think that there is a recasting thing. I don't know why, you know, people are so against, you know, saying that they're going to recast, because it does seem like they're going to recast them. And obviously no company is going to straight up say, we're recasting them, you know? They've essentially done the Corpo kind of speak for we're recasting, you know, in the sense that they're saying, you know, they will be here in the future. The current voice actors are gone, actresses are gone, right? I think that is just Corpo speak for we're gonna find some new voice actresses to voice them, right? Because they're not gonna say it straight up as, you know, we're replacing them. They're just going to say, oh, well, we after a careful decision, we've decided to, you know, you get what I mean. It's Corpo speak to kind of make it seem a little bit less worse. But obviously, yeah, people are very suspicious about what is actually going on as well, as to why they have been, you know, booted. Or, you know, obviously they said, we'd like to inform you that the voice actresses have decided to step away. So again, it doesn't seem like they've been booted from aka Virtual. It seems like they've stepped down, which I do think is interesting. And obviously, it is very important to notice that there is one person left, Sai Saotom. I don't know much about them, but again, I haven't seen any announcement for their graduation yet. So it is pretty interesting leaving just one member behind. So maybe something went on behind the scenes which made the voice actors leave, actresses or whatever. Sorry, I just use voice actors for everybody, but I guess it is actresses. But yeah, no, obviously, I think it is pretty interesting. And obviously people saying aka Virtual allowed them to post their past lives. So yeah. I don't know. Something could be going on behind the scenes of this. People are very interested in what's going on, but there's multiple kind of aspects to this whole situation which people are very interested about, you know, because there is, you know, obviously these voice actresses leaving, and then also the fact that they could be getting recast despite them leaving, and then obviously the point that they're allowed to even post about their new indie journey on their old corporate accounts is also very interesting. You know, people asking for links and stuff, who's saying everything about this aka virtual situation is strange as hell. It doesn't seem strange to me. They weren't interested in continuing its talents here and left. They probably thought they could do equal or better without the Corpo. Said that all three left. That all three left at the same time leads to me to believe that it was the company's choice. I don't think it was the company's choice because they specifically worded it. They've decided to step away unless they agreed. That's how they would word it. Maybe that could also be the case. But there definitely is something strange going on. I don't think it is a case of, oh, you know, it's not very strange that 3 people have left all at once. Like, come on, there is definitely something going on there to the point where, you know, maybe it does need to be looked into a little bit more. You know, it could be the most mild thing that has made them leave as well. You know, I'm not saying it's like some big drama behind the scenes, right? It could just be, again, a falling out, or maybe they just didn't really want to continue with them. But again, I do think there is, you know, something there. People saying, wait, what companies allow this? I said it's kind of possible in AK Virtual. The first one to do it is Kichi Himiya, who sometimes retweets stuff of her personal indie persona on Lumen Tsukuboshi, even if she was active last in 2023. So yeah, a lot of people saying, I don't want to make a new post, but you guys know what happened to her or persona. It said that's her new persona. So obviously, yeah, a lot of people have been, kind of very interested in this situation. And also they've been further interested in the situation. Again, you thought this got crazier with like the whole, you know, 3 talents leaving. And then also it seems like they might be getting recast. And then also the fact that they've been allowed to promote their indie accounts. And then also the fact of like, people don't really know why 3 people have left all at once. And then also we've got Lala Alberic leaving aka Virtual as well. Now, this is one of their Indonesian talents. Now, I don't know if this has any connection to the situation. My guess is probably not. But also, it is interesting because they have left in a very short amount of time in aka Virtual. And obviously, yeah, she was part of one of the first adoption groups here, an Indonesian talent. So obviously, that's why the graduation notice is in Indonesian. But it is interesting too, and obviously it is something just to consider there as well, that, you know, there has been a lot of people leaving from aka Virtual recently, which, yeah, I think it's an interesting situation. I just kind of wanted to compile all of this together because I've been seeing it like on and off on my feed for the past couple of weeks, ever since this kind of thing came out, and it was very confusing to me. But now it seems to make a little bit more sense in terms of what is actually going on. But what's still confusing to me is the real thing. What is going on behind the scenes? What is really happening? What caused the voice actresses to leave? You know, and will there be a recast in the future? And how will that recast be accepted by fans or not? Because again, it must be very weird. Imagine your favorite VTuber, you know, obviously leaving, and then being replaced with someone else, but still using the same VTuber model. And obviously I'm talking about like agency VTubers here. Like, for example, I don't know, think of like Mori Calliope or something like that, right? You think of her, you know, what if she was to leave and then they just get someone else to like do something on her model? Like, that would be so weird, you know, because she's got that personality behind her. And so do these people, right? These people all have their own personality, you know, beside them. I don't know. It's interesting. It'd be interesting to see how it works. Obviously, a lot of people saying it hasn't worked before. But yeah, overall, I just thought it was an interesting situation to show you guys. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go over to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off again. They got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.